Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to Read the Room podcast.
This is Embria.
And this is Merv. Thank you for joining us again.
Thanks. Welcome back. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about something super important that a lot of people do not act on. We're talking about boundaries.
Boundary.
Not just personal boundaries, but professional boundaries as well.
All that personal, romantic,
All that.
professional.
Do you know what a boundary is?
No.
We're gonna look it up.
Tell me what a boundary is by definition, because
by definition,
you know, sometimes we get a little.
Just boundary. The word is a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line,
okay,
or a limit of a subject or sphere of activity.
Okay.
But personal boundaries, they're guidelines, rules, or limits that a person creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for other people to behave towards them and how they will respond when someone passes those limits.
Ooh, okay. I feel like reasonable is probably a very important word in this. So I have recently seen a TikTok of this, because we're in the TikTok era, of this girl, and she it was like she met her dude or whatever, and then her friend asked her, can you go to the movies or whatever? And she was like, I need to ask my boyfriend if I can go first. And I'm like, but you think about it, that's kind of a lot of people's reality. I feel like secretly that's many people's reality because they don't have boundaries within their relationship.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I saw that same TikTok. I thought it was going to be like a cute, this is how I met my boyfriend. But it was like, it got real dark real quick.
She started crying.
And I just got to thinking, like, what even kind of shapes us to even act in that manner?
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to, at least in hetero relationships, we know what boundaries are. We know we're supposed to implement them. But then when it comes to these type of situations, it just doesn't fully engage. Like, where does that even come from?
So what's the origin of people letting their relationships get all out of hand and letting someone control them? I feel like it usually stems from a significant other who's insecure. Because you think about it, when you're in a relationship or in a situation or whatever, you care a lot about how that other person feels and you want them to feel the most comfortable. So when you get to asking, oh, can I go to this? You're basically saying, do you feel comfortable enough for me to go and hang out with these other people? Right. That's a problem, but I think that that's where it comes from a place of wanting to appease your significant other.
No, I agree, but it can be done in a healthier way.
Oh, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
Because it shouldn't be like your boyfriend or even partner or whoever the person may be to be like, oh, you can't go this way because I don't want you to, because I'm insecure about how you're going to be acting in those situations. It should just be about, you know what, this is what I'm going to be doing. You know where I'm at, whatever. So there's no kind of discrepancies as far as that, but it shouldn't be like I control where your movements go, and just because I don't know what you're going to be doing.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, but it's a really like complicated.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of like a younger me who just wants to be, because it's coming from somewhere, and a bunch of people, it's their reality. So why? We can't really put, we can't say for certain, but do you think that there's any situations where you would defer to your significant other or your person or whatever's judgment? Would you ever ask for permission to do any sort of thing?
No.
Nothing at all?
It's not permission. I would ask for advice.
Okay.
I would ask for a second opinion, but
Yes.
I'm not asking for permission because what?
Okay, let me think of a hypo. Okay, so say you are going to some event and you know that the last dude who you were super duper deeply in love with was going to be there. Would you ask your current person whether they feel comfortable with you attending the event, or would you just let them know, hey, he's probably gonna be there, just so you know? It
depends on two ways. If it's that person inviting me to their personal event, I would ask my significant other, like, hey, so and so asked me to come to this event, like, how do you feel given our history? But if it's just like a general event and that person just happened to be there, I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'm just gonna go if I want to go. And just let them know, like, oh, I actually ran into, or I think this person's gonna be there. You gotta see how it can be done in a healthy way. Because I don't know. I don't feel like I have to ask permission to be around other people. And then that kind of leads into the question of like trust. Like, if you don't trust me enough.
Trust is the underlying thing, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't trust me enough to be around like these people and act a certain way, then we probably
Aren't working out
together.
But okay, that's another thing as far as trust goes. An insecure person can't trust, in my opinion. Someone who's so deeply insecure of themselves, no matter what you do, they're not going to trust it, because perhaps they feel like they're insufficient. So you're going to go out and find someone who is deserving of you. Yeah. So they're never going to trust, because they know that they're really not bringing anything to the table.
Exactly. And that person needs to do a lot of inner work, and they shouldn't be dating.
They should not
but people
be dating.
do things that they shouldn't do all the time.
Absolutely.
So then I feel like then that burden gets put on the person who's not in that space, who's not insecure, to act accordingly.
Yes. I think that, so I feel like these little toxic, like trying to overset boundary situations are usually between one person who's extremely insecure and another person who's extremely empathetic.
Yeah.
So, I feel so bad. I want you to feel comfortable. What can I do to make you feel comfortable? And then the insecure person is like, don't talk to men ever. And then you're like, but I mean, it makes him feel uncomfortable, so let me try and make him feel comfortable. And then before you know it, you can't talk to nobody.
It starts with men, then it's your friends, then it's your family, and all of a sudden you're in this situation.
Then it's just you, and
it's
you
y'all two, and how do you bounce back from a situation like that?
I don't know.
And I think it also goes into another, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, of knowing what we deserve, knowing our worth.
Yes.
We all know the type of situations we be in. We know. But we let how we see that person kind of define them, Yeah. You see, like, you can be in love with someone and they don't have no flaws. They don't have no flaws. But the moment y'all break up, like, he did do, okay, and this one, and all of a sudden someone goes from 0 flaws to 35. And it's like, it's been there all along. But because you were just so in love and you just want to be with, you want to please them so much, you just weren't thinking critically.
Rationally. Yeah, okay. In addition to being in love with somebody, sometimes you are in love with helping someone. And this is
that savior complex.
Honestly, and I'm gonna just be honest, I feel like I have like that Messiah. You're like, just say it, girl. I feel like I have, or had, because I acknowledge it now, that Messiah complex. Like, if I see that someone wants to be better, or they portray themselves as better, but they're not acting like that in the moment, I'm a helper. I'm super empathetic. I want to help you get there. But then when I realize you actually aren't trying to go there, you actually shouldn't need my help to go there, then it's like, okay, I'm not gaining anything from this situation.
And I think a lot of us, just speaking on women, but a lot of us get into this mindset that, like, we're the best thing that's ever going to happen to this person. And let me tell you, that's not true. Because I know so many amazing women, so I don't think amazing women are short at all in this world. So you're not going to be the best person that he's going to meet in his life, or they're like, whoever the person may be.
You're saying that there's going to be plenty other women
awesome
for
people.
them.
Yeah. So we get stuck in this, like, I want to be the best thing he's ever had and all this. So you start, acting in ways that you really shouldn't be. You kind of, it kind of goes from a relationship to, like, almost like a mother-son type of thing.
Oh, bro, that's a thing. That's a thing.
So you start trying to pick up, this ain't no shit to nobody mama, but, like, you start to pick up the slack of, like, where
their mother
should have,
or even where their mother was going, and then she hands it off to you, and now
she passed it.
She passed the torch
y'all
to you.
are in a relay.
Bro.
And then once he's done with you,
then somebody else is going to. To the point about feeling like you're the best that someone's gonna have, I don't really believe in that thing. Like, when people are like, he'll never find another, I don't believe in that.
Will.
even if I feel like we as a society measure what's a good person by some very stereotypical, like, oh, I have a degree and I have a job, and I don't think it's like that. I feel like there's someone who's going to be better for them, even if they don't have all of your credentials, but they are a better match for them.
Yeah, that compatibility. I think we confuse compatibility with chemistry. You can
Oh,
have so
honey.
much chemistry with someone.
Yes,
Y'all are
yes.
just not
Compatible.
and you gonna force that chemistry thing until the wheels fall off, and then you end up in a situation like this where you're having to, kind of be overly empathetic, almost raising someone, and then you lose yourself because you're just like,
Wow, you are preaching to the choir and a half. But
I guess I got some experience. No, I'm just kidding.
no. Yeah, you do end up in a very codependent, raising them up type situation.
Yeah. And then when you look back on all that's said and done, you're just like, what? Like, what happened? What was my life? And I feel like that's what a lot of, and I see this a lot on my timeline. Like, women are just like really starting to realize their worth. Like, we know what we deserve. And it's like, and I'm so glad we're coming to this realization now. Just like,
before it's too late, honey.
Know what you're deserving of.
Yeah.
You don't have to raise your partner. You don't have to put that. Okay, going back to what I saw earlier that I mentioned to you, that what the psychologist said, boundaries is where I begin or I end and someone else begins.
Yes.
So you don't want to lose yourself in someone else, because then that's when the boundaries get blurred and confusing, and then you're just like, what?
Absolutely.
Where's the ownership?
You can tell when someone is aspiring to something because they're actively working toward that thing in that moment.
Right.
Someone who's blindly saying, I want to start a business. Mm-hmm. What business do you want to start? I don't know. Why you always asking me what kind of, you know, it's like little things like that. Like, you can believe in someone, but just know that, like, at this age, you are where you are. At this age, I am where I am. They had the same amount of time to get to this place. And of course, I'm not saying you need to be exactly at your end, but you've had time to work on something.
Right.
So if by the time you encounter them, the wheels are still turning, don't overdo it trying to give them drive, purpose, a goal, because they ain't have it when they met you.
Right. And you really, if someone doesn't want to change, if someone doesn't want to achieve a goal, you cannot force them. There's no amount of support, capital, anything that you can give someone when they don't want something for themselves or when they're just simply not ready.
Yes.
So we just have to start being a lot more realistic.
Yes.
Very realistic in the situations that we are in. Like, let's get rid of that potential stuff. Get rid of that. Take that off the table. Unless you're investing in somebody's business and it's like completely platonic, get that potential shit off the table.
That's so true. Falling in love with someone's potential. I used to think to myself, like, okay, well, I went to undergrad and then I went straight to law school, and that's not normal because a lot of people do take time off. I'm like, so perhaps I'm just like I sped up my process and I need to just be understanding that not everyone is that way. But that doesn't mean to find someone on the opposite end of the spectrum who hasn't even started figuring out what race they want to enter into.
Exactly.
So it's like, the potential thing.
Just take it off the table because, like, raise your hand if you ever been with someone, you saw the potential and they actually reached it. Okay, exactly.
Look, I don't know what people
exactly my
up
point.
To these
Let's take that
days.
off the table. Unless you're unless it's platonic, it's your friends, your brother, your sister, a business you're looking to invest in. Yeah. Potential is not something that you should base relationships on.
It needs to be, what are they doing in this moment? 2 seconds ago. Not what do they...
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love a dreamer.
Yeah, me too.
But
a dreamer with a plan.
A dreamer with a plan. Yeah. I feel like I was in a situation before where it was a dreamer, but it was one of those like 9-to-5 jobs are nothing, and you need to have your LLC Twitter, the spokesperson for LLC Twitter. You need to just start a business and blah blah. And it's like, okay, what business?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think people, when they say start your own business, they think they're gonna be making profit right away.
It
takes a minute to break even.
Can we talk about this? We went to DePaul Business School, honey. Okay. We are versed in it.
It takes a minute to break even.
Yeah, I think that people think of not working a 9-to-5 as the opposite. Like, okay, you go and you work all these hours, but I'm gonna work for me. You need to work even more hours when you're working for you, because you need to get customers and
Keep,
I don't know,
marketing, get your business out there, all that.
Product, whatever you're doing, inventory. That's a lot of work, but people think of owning your own business as the easy way. You don't get to relax until you're at a point where you could have hired a manager to oversee everything that you're doing. So let's stop romanticizing the idea of that.
Because you're not going to start a business last month and you make a profit this month. That's
that's not how it's
maybe
going
it's
to work.
a super rare case that happens, like a super unicorn companies. But it's not the rule. A lot of people are exceptions.
A lot of people are exceptions to the rule.
I think it's definitely good to have a supplemental,
Undoubtedly,
income or something else you can work on and in tandem with your 9 to 5 or whatever, your school, whatever. And then as you're growing, everything's working out, and then you're gonna reach your point like, I worked long enough. I'm gonna drop my 9 to 5 because this is making me the amount of money that that I want to and I can survive on. I
have so much respect for like people who do work 9 to 5 and they also are dedicating time and energy to outside stuff. Here we are doing a podcast, but like to do other things and also work. I feel like those people are very realistic. You understand that whatever outside stuff I want to do, my 9 to 5 is probably going to fund it until I get to a point where I can drop the 9 to 5. People, that's a lost concept.
People just be like, stop working for the man.
Don't work for the man. And it's like
40 hours ain't,
whole time, like, I don't want to ultimately be working for the man, but like, let the man teach me a little something while I'm here, like.
I think that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy my job, because I talk to businesses all day, every day about inner workings of their business. So you learn so much, and you also learn like these like little very specific industries that people be making bank off that you wouldn't know.
You would have no idea if you weren't encountering it.
So being exposed to that, it gets your mind thinking, and then when you do, or as I have done, starting my own business, it's like, kind of like where to start, at least, and then kind of trying to figure out how to make that work for you.
Yes, this conversation reminds me of the school versus no school conversation too. Yes. I feel like they go head in hand, and that's a whole nother episode in and of itself. But I think that similar to your job exposing you to things, I feel like school does that as well. But I'll leave.
We're gonna put a pin in that.
We'll put a pin in that one because that one's a long.
But like we said, potential, take that off the table and know when the boundaries can get a little fuzzy, and know when to pull back and choose you.
Yes, I feel like when anybody gets telling you can and can't, then you've all at that point it's
muddied waters.
Yeah, and to all the nice girl Twitter, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all, don't look. I'm serious. I feel like, honey, do not fall for it.
Child,
but you get what I'm saying though. Like, you want to be you want him to feel. Stop!
You should never say nice girl.
But y'all understood. Everybody out there is understand. They know exactly what I'm talking about. I want him to feel comfortable, and let me just be a good.
Cater to my man.
That's strong, but really, that's another thing, ladies. You got to know what you can cater to, because you can't cater to everything.
Okay, literally, some people don't deserve catering.
Not everybody and everything is worth a cater to, but to all the nice girls, when that man gets to telling you can and can't do this, that, and the other, delete this person,
delete this picture.
Going through your phone while you sleep in the middle of the night, and then you wake up and see that they're going through it, ladies.
That's very tacky.
But it's insecurity. It's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Sleep, bro. Like, get on my.
That's weird nigga behavior.
It is. Okay, so long story short, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. Exactly. And if they get to a point where they are, reevaluate because they're insecure.
Yeah, make sure the boundaries are healthy too, and it works for you and the person.
Yes. Let's talk about what those boundaries look like with regard to like work relationships. You be seeing people online like, oh, my work husband, my work wife. Let me tell you one thing.
I ain't got no relationships at work. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. I'm not the type of person. I barely kiki with them.
People at work.
Work. And they always be asking, like, let's hang out, let's hang out. Like, I mean, that's cool once in a while, but it's not going to be every week like we're friends.
Yes.
I feel like, for me personally, my job is my job. I come in at 9.
05, it has to be, because no way you could be.
No, I'm supposed to be at 8:30. That's why I said I come there at 9. And I leave at 5, and that is the end of our relationship.
Okay, so say you are involved with a man and he has a work wife. It probably is foreign to you because you don't even rock with people at work.
Okay.
But how would you feel about that?
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, y'all, where did that term even come from? Work wife, work husband. I felt like it was for people that was married, that was unsatisfied with their partner and found somebody at work that they could just really do or talk about their partner too. That's why I always.
I never thought it was that deep. I just thought it was like, okay, this is my like work best friend type thing.
Yeah, that's what I can say. Oh, this is my work friend, my work best friend. You know,
but when they say work wife
and husband,
I feel like it's like you look out for that person in a way that you might like. Okay, so say I cooked. This is strong though if you think about it. Say I cooked and then I take some food to a dude at work. That would probably be considered my work husband. I've never done that.
I feel like if you're single and y'all just like, that's how y'all relationship is at work, like y'all kiki, y'all share recipes, y'all share, you know.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, but I don't know. I feel like when you start naming it like that, things can get a little bit muddied, and then here goes that boundary conversation again.
Yeah.
Things can start getting crossed over.
Yeah.
So me personally, it's just like I'd rather not. But I mean, if that's your work friend, I can't really do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't work with you, so it's.
And it comes down to security again. If you like are kicking with some chick, like, I mean, you could go be with her. That's an option. You could take me out the picture if that's what makes you happy. But yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing for me.
So, okay, it's probably because you don't rock with people at work.
No,
but let's
I don't.
put you in a hypothetical world where you are super cool. You have a bunch of black people you work with, and you're super cool with them. And there's one of them, and he's super fine. You have a dude at home. There's one that's super fine, and he's like, let's go get drinks. Let's get dinner, just you and I.
We can get drinks. I feel like dinner, if like you have a partner,
it's strong.
It depends on how that, you can feel the vibes. We all can feel vibes.
Yes.
So you have to read those vibes. Like, is he trying to just like, oh, we cool? Because I have done that before in the past. Like, went out to drinks and dinner with a friend or with a work friend.
Yeah.
I kept it completely platonic. He was on some other stuff. So, right. So I think you have to kind of read the vibes a little bit when things start getting weird. That's when you start to kind of like.
Yes.
And just keep it like, oh, let's just, go to like the bar downstairs at our job or
yeah,
whatever. Instead of going to like, let's go to this
else.
location or like, let me go change and come,
Yeah. I feel like I've had situations, there's one that comes to mind in particular. When you're entering a field, like I remember when I was in law school, there's a lot of networking that's going to go on. There's a lot of, okay, let me just find where the black people are and talk to them and figure out how they got where they are, because it's tough out here.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5% of lawyers are black. Is very tough. So I would find myself networking, being completely professional, platonic, not on that with nobody at all. And I was in a relationship with someone who was through my emails. Like, who is this person that you emailed saying it was nice to meet you? Like a partner at one of the biggest firms.
That's very weird vibes.
The weirdest vibes ever. Or I was working in-house at this company for a summer, and I had gone to get appetizers and drinks. I had a Coke with a black man because he was working in-house at this company. Like, I want to know what's the tea. The person that I was with flipped. Like, you out here having dinner with people. And
now we're just gonna go into, I guess, our last segment. Just kind of wrap things up. Wanted to end it on a fun high note.
Yeah, we usually talk about something that's going on in the media or a tweet that we've seen, something funny.
Anything, really.
Thought-provoking. So what do we have today?
So I thought this kind of tied in a little bit well into our current conversation. So this tweet comes from Layabean. That's spelled Layabean. And this person said, 9 to 5 men will never go out of style, at least in my eyes. The fast life is only entertaining when you're young, feeding into toxic behavior. I crave security, a foundation, normalcy. What's your thoughts on that?
It sounds boring.
Yeah, it does.
When I first hear like the 9 to 5 man, it sounds really boring to me. Okay, but here's the thing. I feel like it depends on the person's personality. I personally enjoy some spice, and I'm not saying I like getting treated wrong.
Yeah.
That just so happens to sometimes. It might sometimes happen. No, I'm just saying that like I don't want anything boring. Have you heard the song by Summer Walker? It's called Riot. If you have not, go listen to it. She's like, I need a riot. I need some
Chaos.
spunk. Not even necessarily
You
chaos.
said riot. What is more chaotic than a riot?
She's like, okay, sometimes people use the word riot in a good way, like, oh, you're a riot, like, I don't know.
You're a
she
mess.
meant it like that. All I'm saying is I do not aspire to a boring life. I aspire to peace and serenity, but I want it to be spunky and entertaining. So I'm not saying that like, okay, I want somebody to do me dirty, but I want someone, okay, you can be a 9 to 5 man, but could we go to an open mic?
Oh, true.
No? Could we go to a,
Yeah.
Do you expect me to cook every single night? Could you know how to cook too? Could we cook together? Could we try new recipes? Like, I don't want to be bored.
I think like how the tweet mentioned towards the end, like, kind of straying away from that young girl or young person view of things. Because I know growing up, a lot of us, we talking about I want a hood, I want a drug, that type of stuff. Probably still do, but like what comes with that is a lot of
Chaos. That is chaos.
toxic and insecurity as far as like you don't know if you're safe.
I feel like it's two different versions of people who say that they want a hood dude.
Yeah.
The one version is somebody who wants somebody to be giving them quick money all the time because they got it. And then the other version is probably more similar to my sentiment, which is I just don't want somebody stuffy and boring. I think that there is a happy medium out there. Yeah. Someone who's professional and sophisticated, but they also have some edge to them. I think that personally, I just wouldn't work well with someone who came up a little too, how do I say, like privileged? Yeah. Like someone who has no sense of the things that affect the Black community generally. Yeah. We won't rock. Yeah. And in a lot of these like 9 to 5 corporate, lawyer, doctor, finance people, they've been exposed already for a while to a certain lifestyle to the extent that they might feel like they're here and other Black people are there, and it doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah. And I think also a lot of times when we say like, oh, I want a hood nigga, a lot of people kind of get put a bad connotation to like being a hood, and you can be from the hood and like you're not into like that murderous like lifestyle. That's like, it's just like you are a strong dude, affirmative dude, someone who's there, you know.
Yeah, can I just tell you that I feel like okay, because my dad is from out west, so I feel like, and of like my family, the values are so,
that's where I was going with that.
They values are thorough. Yeah. Like they're loyal and they're all these things that I feel like other people are not necessarily. Yeah. I don't know why it is that way, that I feel like their values are so strong. And if you weren't weren't even exposed to that kind of thing, they weren't. I don't know. It
is like a weird.
I want to do a case study on it because I've seen some people who like, even if they like grew up in the church and like grew up around a bunch of white people, they a little fugazi. Like they is something off about their moral compass. Yeah. I don't know why. If anybody has written about this or
send us a link,
because I need it. I need to confirm what I be thinking. But
no, I feel like that's essentially when I say I want a hood nigga. That's what I'm talking about. Like someone who's like really strong in their morals and values and like just a real dude. Period. Yes. Not that other stuff. Yeah. A wimp. All right, guys, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. This is Merveline.
This is Embria.
And this is Read the Room Podcast.
Leave that on there. Follow us on social media, though.
Yes.
It's at readtheroompod
On Instagram.
on Twitter, our Gmail. I don't know, but who's going to email us? Hopefully y'all do.
Hopefully y'all email us.
It's at readtheroompod@gmail.com.
Yes, and we will see you in our next episode.
Bye, friends.